Hello. So this is my main PC, and I just got a new case for it. And I used to have the Pop XL Air, but I decided to go with this instead. It's a little bit bigger, and also the cable management are supposed to be better, but it took me a while to do some cable management because the power supply. But anyway, this is exactly the same case that I have for my NAS, just a slightly different configuration. For example, in this case, this plate back here are in the same level as the motherboard and stuff. And in my NAS, I bring this forward, so it's on the edge over here, and it's called sort of storage mode, so you can add a bunch of hard drives. You have to remove this cover as well at the bottom to move it forward. I'm not going to have any mechanical hard drives in this case or in this computer because it's my mainstream sort of or everyday computer. The only thing I have, you can see at the top, it's actually a 5¼ inch bay, and I'll show you the front later. This bay can fit 6 SSDs or hard drives, and it's 2.5 inch drives. So it's nice that you can fit 6 SSD in one 5¼ inch bay. There are versions where you can fit 8 SSDs in this kind of bay, but the motherboard only have 6 SATA ports, so that's why I got the 6 bay version. And I don't run them in any RAID or anything. By the way, these SATA ports, 6 of them, but 4 of them, top 4 are the Intel chipset, and the bottom 2 are, I don't remember if it was Marvell or something else. It's a separate controller for the other 2, and you can only run RAID on the Intel ports, so the top 4, which was kind of sad because when I got this motherboard I thought I could run RAID on all 6 ports, but no, only the top 4. And the motherboard, I don't remember, it's a 690 Z690 Hero. I put all the specs in the video description, a link to my sort of blog, and I have all the specs there. But it's something Maximus Hero or whatever. 12th gen CPU. It's the i7 12700K, and I got the big Noctua cooler there as well. And all the fans are Noctua fans, and the case fans all around are 140 millimeters. I also got a fan underneath here. I'll show you that when I turn the computer around. It's blowing up air a little bit, so I thought I would have it more over here, so it blow over the graphics card. But the power supply is over here, and it's kind of big. So but anyway, it will get some air at least, sucking air from that. And graphics card is Asus, and it's the RTX 4070 Super. You got 12 gigabyte of VRAM. And then it's kind of hard to see, but the red card over there is a 10 gigabit card. It's a TP-Link. And as I said, I have all the specs on my website. And then I got an Elgato capture card. It's the 4K 60 Pro Mark II. Elgato recently, I don't know recently, but they released a newer version of this card. I don't know what it's called, like 4K Super Duper something. But it's a newer version of this, so this is almost the latest capture card. But it's working for me at least. It can capture a lot of different resolutions. Yeah, I also have a Elgato Camlink 4K, but that is a USB connection, a USB device, USB 3. And yeah, and that the Camlink can't really record that many different resolutions. It can do like 4K, the what is it, 3840 by 2160, and then the resolution below that, it will be 1080. So I can't record 1440p with the Camlink, which is weird. But this one can take a lot of stuff. And then at the bottom, I got 2 extra USB 3 ports. And that is connected to the bottom one over here. And the top one is also USB 3, but that will go to the top, on the top USB 3. And then we have this cable is also, it's a USB-C. I don't remember the versions, you know, the USB standard these days are so weird. I think it's USB 3.2, 2x2, whatever. Yeah, and the power supply also, I'll show you later, is the new ATX 3.0 standard, which means that you get the 4000 series cards have this special power connector, the 8x4 or 8-4 connector, or a 12 pin at least. And the new ATX 3.0 have this cable for it, so I don't need the adapter. The card comes with an adapter. It's basically a splitter, so you got 2 regular PCI Express power cables, and it goes into one of those 12 pins. But it's kind of funny, when I used that adapter the first time, and when the computer is off, there's a red LED lighting up, and I guess that means that the card doesn't have any power. Yeah, but that LED is off when I use this special cable. So nothing special about this. Yeah, it got the DDR5 memory, and I have 4 sticks in there, and they are 32 gigabyte each. So I got 128 gigabyte of DDR5 RAM. And the sticks are actually 5600 megahertz. But this CPU, the 12th gen, or this at least, only support up to 4800 megahertz. I tried to run them in 5600, but I got blue screens and yeah, corrupted data and whatever, so I just downclocked them to 4800. And now the system is stable. And that's the problem with if you run faster memory sticks and you have 4 of them, you will run into problems. So if you have 2 sticks, I guess I wouldn't have the problem, but I wanted to max out the amount of RAM. The CPU can handle 128, and that's exactly what I got. And I think it's Kingston Fury Beast memory, and they got some coolers on it. Yeah, the Noctua, as I said, I have the information on my website, but it's got two 120 millimeter fans. So yeah, and up in the storage bay, I got 6 1 terabyte Samsung 870 Evo drives. And then, of course, I have a bunch of, or 3 M.2 drives. It's kind of hard to see here, but right underneath the red card, you have this cooler. So over here, I got 2 NVMEs. Yeah, M.2. And they are the Samsung 980 Pro, and they are 2 terabyte each. And then it should be, you can't really see it, but it's underneath the cooler, I think, the CPU cooler. It's another 980 Pro. So 2 terabytes. So I got 3 2 terabyte M.2 drives. And I only use them to have games, store games. Windows 11 is actually stored on one of the 1 terabyte drives up here. Because, yeah, I don't really notice that much of a difference loading software. Well, a little bit, but yeah, the SSD is fast enough for my needs at the moment. And I don't really need a 2 terabyte Windows partition. So yeah, Windows and software took up like 5% or something. So yeah, I rather have that storage, that 2 terabyte extra storage for games, because games are huge these days. So yeah, and this computer, this is the solid version, so it doesn't have any glass panels or glass panel. It's the solid. And yeah, this is the it's heavy side panel for it. And let's see if I can turn it around. Oh, it's kind of heavy. And it's got this sound dampening material on the inside. So yeah, and the sound dampening materials kind of smell a little bit funny. And the same thing at the top. It comes with, by default, a completely covered top panel. But there is an accessories box included with the case. And in that box, there's an extra top panel. So if you have fans, you can easily just swap the top with the... it has perforated or got holes like this one. But yeah, so that's, I actually swapped it out because I have fans in the top. So, and also the front, I will show you later. It got a door that you can open, and the door also got this sound dampening stuff. But the door were kind of limiting the airflow a lot, so I actually removed it. So yeah, and at the front, the hard drive bay, or the bay there, this little filter is normally in the front panel, but I had to remove it because you will see that this bay goes just at the front panel. So let's actually show you the front panel right now. Let's see if I can move this side panel. Okay, so let's, it will be a little bit funny. Let's see if I can move it a little bit like this too. So yeah, that's the front. So you can see the top bay with the SSDs, and then you also included this cover plate, and then you have the front intake for the fans, and yeah, behind the plastic bars there is a dust filter, and you can remove the entire front panel to sort of clean the filter. And there's also at the bottom a dust filter like this. It's pretty long. It will cover the entire length of the case. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to actually turn the computer around. So let's pause the video. Okay, so I turned the case around, and it's really, really heavy. The case itself is about 16 kilograms, and that's about 35 pounds. And then of course I have added a bunch of stuff, like the power supply is really heavy, and also the CPU cooler is also heavy, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very hard to move it around. And here you can see the side panel, and it's exactly the same panel on the other side. And it's very easy to remove it. There's at the top, there's a, what you call it, a latch or whatever. So just pull it out like this a little bit, and then you pull up a little bit, and you can take it off. So yeah, this is the other side of the motherboard. And I try to do some cable management. It's kind of hard because the power supply, let's see, where did I put that stuff? This one. The power supply, it's a, I don't know if you can see it really, but it's the Corsair RX, the M1000X shift. Yeah, it's shift in the name, and the shift means that the power connectors on the power supply are on the side. Normally they are on the back and going out, but it's on the side. I'm not really a fan of this. It kind of works in this case because the side, you can fit a lot of cables, but it's a tight fit. And I had to do a lot of different cable management here. I can close the door very easily. I don't have to push hard or anything. And the door doesn't bulge either. So, and here's another thing with the fans, the Noctua fans. The cables for them are very short. For example, you can see the bottom fan there. The cable actually ends over here. Kind of. So it's like 10 centimeters, just a couple of inches. And these 140 millimeter fans come with a 30 centimeter extension, but that wasn't enough, especially not enough for the top fan. So also included in with these fans are a splitter. So with the top fan, I had to use 2 splitters and a 30 centimeter extension to get the cable to the motherboard. So yeah, the only advantage you can see at the top fans and the back fans are connected to this fan hub up here, and it's got 6 3-pin connectors, and then 3 4-pin connectors. So these are the PWM connectors, and all the fans are PWM fans. So yeah, and then from the hub, of course you got the power, and then you got a special PWM cable. You see the label for it over there. And that goes to the motherboard. So the motherboard knows the fan speed, but it will only register fan speed on one of these ports. And right now it's the back fan. So yeah, but otherwise these 3 front fans are connected to the motherboard. Same thing, you can barely see it, but there's a fan underneath there too, and it's blowing up air. And yeah, there are holes in the plate, on the bottom plate there, so the air will be pushed through. Yeah, so this is the advantage when the fan is really close, to have a short cable. So the motherboard would have 4 case fan headers, and then it got an what's it called, AIO connector, and also a water pump connector. And yeah, this bottom is actually connected to the water pump header. And in the BIOS, normally it's set to full speed all the time, but you can actually set it to manual and set it have a special fan curve for that as well. I didn't want to connect all the fans to the hub because these are just 3-pin headers. And I also want to be able to individually control the fan speeds. You can't really do that with the hub. With the hub, all the fans will get the same speed. So they basically, these 3 fans here will show up as 1 fan in the BIOS. So, but yeah, I tried to do some kind of cable management, and this plate here, you can see it has 2 hard drive bays. So this, you can install 3.5 inch bays here, or hard drives, and you got 2.5 inch bays here for like SSDs. I don't install stuff here because there's no airflow, so the drives will get hot, and that's why I have the bay at the top, because it has fans in it, and it's on low speed right now. So yeah, it got some airflow at least. Yeah, and this cover, this side panel, you can move it forward to have it like a storage thing with drive caddies and stuff. But yeah, the case comes with like 6 caddies you can install. I actually moved it then to my NAS case, so that NAS case got 12 caddies. Yeah, I filled this up totally. I put the link to that video in the video description. But otherwise, this panel was a pain in the ass. It's really easy to just unscrew the screws, move it forward, and then just mount it again. It was really easy. But the problem with the SSD bay that I got is that you have 2 screws that you have to fasten it to the case, and you have to remove this plate to be able to access those screws. Because what I did first is that there's a bracket, 5.25 inch bracket, and I mounted the sort of hard drive bay to that bracket, and I thought I would just push it in, but no, the screws actually hit the case, so I had to first install the bracket and then the hard drive bay. It was a pain in the ass, and it was a pain in the ass to get this back here in this position because the screw holes didn't really line up perfectly. So yeah, I spent hours just to get this panel back there. It was really easy to do it on the other side, but yeah, as you can see also the because of the I wanted to have the hard drive bay at the bottom, but there's no way to install it, so I have to have it at the top. And because of that, I had to push down one of the front fans. So it's actually pushing a little bit of air to this fan over here, some extra, and then it will be pushing it up. But otherwise, it's a kind of a nice case to work with. Cable management, the power supply, the cables for the power supply, they kind of chipped out on those cables because they were, these flat types, and they are very stiff to work with. So I just pulled them apart, and then I just bundled them like this instead. So it's a lot easier to work with. So yeah, and also this is kind of weird when you have the 5¼ inch bay at the top, the SATA cables. Yeah, that is also the downside with having the connection on the sides. Yeah, it has to go to the other end diagonally. So I tried to make it somewhat neat, but yeah. And back here is the 12 volt I got for the CPU. There are 12 volt connectors at the top, and this motherboard can have or take 2 of these cables, this 12 volt CPU stuff. And yeah, here you see the blue cables. These are the SATA cables coming from the motherboard, and it's going into one single cable, going up back there and to the bay. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of neat. And yeah, the 30 minutes, 29 minutes right now. Otherwise, it's kind of neat. Same thing with the top panel. It's very easy to just replace, just pull it up. And yeah, it's really easy to replace. And I can actually show you the top maybe as well while we are at it. And there's a headlight. So this is the top. And yeah, by default it comes with, it's completely covered. It's like the side panel, it doesn't have any holes. So yeah, let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, like that. And back there is dust filter. And then just push it down. At the front there you got the power button and reset and USB connectors and stuff. Also the audio. So yeah, let's see if we can do it like this. Show you the back maybe a little bit. So yeah, this is you can't really see it maybe. Yeah, and I forgot to tell you, over here there's 3 extra slots. So if you want to mount your graphics card vertically, you can do it in here. And you can have quite a big card, a 3 slot card. Yeah, and here I just got some extra USB ports, capture card, 10 gigabit network, and the graphics card, and a bunch of other ports and stuff. So yeah, that's the backside. So yeah, and I think I will end the video here because I passed the 30-minute thing here. So yeah, that's my new case for my main PC. So catch you later.